naked shamanism. Welcome to Withinsightsradio. I'm your host, Iggy Garcia. I will take you on a journey across the universe through shamanism, metaphysical, and holistic. So sit back and relax and enjoy the show.
Okie dokie, here we go. All right, everybody, welcome to episode, I believe we're in the 70s now, 73, I believe. Iggy Garcia Live, the mind of Iggy. So I'm here today to share with you and talk to you about Area 51. There we go. I better put my Men in Black glasses on. There we go. Does that look good? Yeah, we're gonna hopefully be able to figure out what's going on. I don't want the government to zap my eyes and take away my memory because I'm talking about Area 51. All right, so today our topic is Area 51. Yeah, I've been kind of fascinated with this theory and this myth, whatever you want to call it, reality, if it's true or not true. But it sounds like there's a convergence happening here. This convergence of people wanting to go to Area 51 and kind of check it out and see what's happening. And so I find that pretty interesting. I find that pretty fascinating that people are willing to get together to find out if there's aliens on this planet. All you gotta do is look at each other and go, hey, you must be from the Pleiadian system. Oh, you must be a lizard person. So you can kind of do that right now. But I find it fascinating that people put so much energy into something like that just to have some kind of disclosure and find out some kind of information for things that I'm not sure if it's important or not. It is to these, they want 1 million people to show up. I think I'm going to go sell bottled water there. I posted that on my post. Probably make a lot of money. But who's going to recycle all the bottled water? And I thought about that too, so how we destroy the environment. Regardless of what happens in Area 51, they set a date, like September something, I believe, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, so you set a date for this flash mob to show up at this military base, and all of a sudden, you kind of giving the military a heads up. If there are aliens there, I'm guarantee you there's not going to be no aliens there. And if you're going to storm this place, good luck with that. I'm just curious to see why. I don't know why I don't understand why people are so fascinated by wanting to know what's in Area 51. I mean, Area 51 is just one of these stories that was created, and maybe there are aliens there. Maybe there is something there. We don't know. I don't know. But if they are, that's fine. But there's aliens everywhere. Just got to look around. You got to just kind of know how to look at them and how to pick them out of the crowd because they are there. And that's the thing that a lot of people don't know how to do because everybody thinks everybody's human, but we're not. Anjali, how are you? But so Area 51 is one of those things that I find it very comical. I don't know, maybe it's a serious thing for some people. Maybe I'm being rude by making fun of them, who knows. But there are aliens, and and if you study the Gnostic Bibles and you study different history and different things, they talk about, aliens. They talk about, the demiurge, the gods, the different types of gods and different things. So it's not something new, and it's not something that we haven't as human beings tried to figure out. And it is possible that in Area 51 that there may be some aliens crash there. But I want to know what you think. I want to know what you think if there's aliens there. I really want to know if you feel that this flash mob that's going to, impose their will and go into Area 51 and take on the military and see what happens. The military won't shoot them. I guarantee you that. That won't happen over stupid aliens. They'll shoot people over oil before they shoot someone over aliens. Trust me on that one. I've been to Standing Rock, and I know and I see the difference. But we do create this, these lores and these things that are important to us because I think humanity wants to know where they come from. Who created us. I mean, it's easy to say God created us. It's easy to say, yeah, we were made by, this supreme being, blah blah blah. But the supreme being is actually is a version of us. We're a splinter of this creation. A lot of us know this, and a lot of us know that. But there's some fascination to know where we actually come from the stars. I mean, it's not enough for some people to know that we we're from Earth, that we're from here, and we were created by the Earth itself, the Mother, God, the spirits, and all these different things, all this mixture in this forming of clay. And I also ask too, so don't think I don't. I ask people, I ask myself. History. There is no common link between us and a bunch of other things. So when we go to Area 51 and we talk about Area 51, we talk about UFOs. And I'll tell you, I've seen UFOs more than once. I actually have a video here on Facebook of me sharing my experience with a UFO. I believe some of you saw that. It was really cool. It was like one of those things that you just never thought that you were going to be able to, just see in your lifetime or at all. My parents have seen it. But the Area 51 thing, I find it kind of comical. The guy who did this Area 51 thing did it as a joke. It was kind of one of these things where he just thought, I'm just going to do that. I'm going to create this event and then see who shows up. But you know what? It gained steam. It gained popularity. Everybody's like, we're going to go. I mean, it's a big convention. It's a big Comic-Con, I'm just curious to see if it'll develop and happen. Just think if we could just take harness all that energy, all these people are doing to just discover if they have aliens, if they can harness that energy and take it and use it for the betterment of humanity. Creating world peace, creating a cleanup session where we clean up the whole desert or we clean up a whole city, let's humanity and what it means to us individually, and why we do this and why we're able to do all this stuff and why we want to do this. But that's what humans do. We do that. We find a cause and we fall behind it and we march and we celebrate and we honor it and we take care of it, and that's kind of what it is. So if you want to look at aliens, I'll give you some places to look. City parks, Walmart, your what do you call it, these thrifty stores, whatever, the gas stations, these little mini marts. That's what they call mini marts. These are perfect places for aliens to hide and no one even know they're there. Where else? Football games, basketball games, things where you won't stand out. You're in a big crowd, so you'll look like everybody else. You won't look out of place. And where you may not see aliens, okay, are usually in small gatherings. You may not see them in church. Maybe you won't see them in churches, and you won't see them at half-price books because they'll just stand out way too much. And you don't want them to stand out, because if you stand out, then the gig's up. So if you have ideas where aliens are hanging out and what they're doing and what they look like, and this is a good example. Many accountants have this similar look too. A lot of these guys, some of them are bald and some of them they wear a certain type of clothing. There's just this thing about certain people. And, are they aliens, or is just our figment of our imagination, that we think that they are? I don't know. You have to really decide for yourself if these people are really aliens. And so, one of the biggest things that I can say that there are true ways of thinking that there are higher intelligent beings that have helped us. And not that humanity can't do this on their own. Humans are capable and much more versed in things. But, for example, cell phones. There was a time where cell phones were humongous. They were big, like this. And you'd hold them in your head, and, my God, it was just, you had to have money to actually have a cell phone. You still need to have money to have a cell phone, I think. Because they cost a lot to own them. But anyhow, back to the topic. So cell phones, on the progression over the years, little by little, and you can't and then Scotty and all the guys from Star Trek, they have iPads. They have these iPads where they're actually working on their, on their patients and different things like that. So basically, these things have developed over time. And yeah, we have iPads and we have cell phones and we have a very powerful tool in front of us. This cell phone is more powerful than my first computer. Okay, so if that gives you an example. And so I think alien technology actually comes to us and is given to us, but is not allowed to be let out very quickly and very fast. But you'll start to see, remember when everybody wanted a small phone, and then all of a sudden everybody wants a big phone, and now everybody wants an intermediate phone, kind of in the middle. So we're sharing things. I mean, I do believe that we are not a whole lot of proof. And what I do see, and I do notice. But how many of you have ever seen like strange lights in the skies? Raise your hand. I mean, I've seen it. I've recorded it, and there's just all kinds of things. But this Area 51 thing, I mean, I kind of hope it does happen. I'm kind of curious to see what comes of it. I'm just kind of see where a segment of humanity really wants to put their energy, and why they want to put their energy there. I think I wrote on my post that they're just all actually aliens, who just want to be recognized for, and want to be, they're tired of being in hiding, so they want us to see them. So if aliens are going to be anywhere, they're going to be there that day, and maybe it's a mission to liberate the ones that are trapped in there. So you really got to use your imagination here. You got to really think about, this is why my show, Iggy Garcia Live, and Iggy, the mind of Iggy. Iggy's mind thinks about things like this. So this is like, it's a secret ops mission. And it's a secret ops mission for this Area 51, where people are going to actually want disclosure, but I actually think it's going to be kind of alien rescue mission for the trapped aliens. You're going to find out that something is really wrong is going to go there. Something's going to happen. There's going to be some interesting things play out. But that's basically it, guys. Just wanted to talk to you a little bit about what I thought Area 51's about. It's kind of it may manifest, it may not manifest. It may be one of those things that happens, and may not happen. And if it does happen, well, Maybe it was supposed to happen. But I guess what my point was, how can we take energy like that and harnessed energy and a cause to help humanity, to raise the vibration, to get to what we need to do, where we need to be as humans, and how we share that energy. Because it's so easy to do something. I'll give you an example. I have this walk. It's called the Walk of the Peacemakers that I do every year before our drum circle. And it's coming up next week, next Saturday. And you'd be surprised how many people, and now, I make it pretty clear that it's not a protest. It's not about political agendas or anything like that. It's just honoring and walking and, raising the vibration for peace. And how small the group is and how little it is and why the excuses why they can't come. And people get so upset with me because they can't bring their Trump banners, because it's not about that. It's not, what you resist persists. Remember that. So the more energy you give Trump, the more energy you're just giving him. The less energy you give that guy, you get more peace, you get more peace. So that's where I'm coming from my vantage point, from my teachings, from my learnings. That, you give energy to things and energy comes back to you in that return. So my walks, I have 30, 40 people, and that's a pretty good number. But it should be, in my imagination, in my mind, it should be hundreds of people. Thousands of people should want to walk and hope that we have a peaceful agenda on this planet, that we can all walk towards peace, towards that place, towards the reality that we can. And, peace is not something that just, it happens and it's done and then we continue. It's not about that we all have to live in this utopia world, but to learn to honor one another, to learn and respect one another. Just because one guy doesn't do that doesn't mean that we all have to act bat crazy, and get all upset about it. No, you do by the example. You actually treat people right. You go out and do the right thing for people, because that's what happens when you don't do that. So I'm thinking, if we go from the opposite point of view and we do what we think we're going to do, and we help humanity by raising the vibration, by doing just the opposite. So, okay, there's racist people, but you're not racist. Okay, then why feed into the racism? Then I'm not saying ignore it. I'm not saying to be, totally aloof from it. No. You see it, you understand it, you know what? And that's where they're at. That's not where you're at. But why do you have to get angry? Why do you have to give yourself away? Why do you have to totally lower your vibration to match that other person? Because I see it. I see it amongst my friends. I see it amongst, people. I see it on TV. I watch it. There's a lot of anger. And there's always going to be angry people. As long as we're alive and we're on this planet, there's always going to be angry people. There's nothing you can do. Nothing. Zero, nothing. You can't help it. It's just what it is. It is what it is. But you do have a choice. You do have a choice how you experience life, how you experience the world. It's really up to you. If you let things bother you, they're going to bother you. Plain and simple. If you enjoy life, you're going to enjoy it. Why do you have friends who, you're going, oh, can you believe that guy did this? And they're like, and what's your point? That guy may affect some lives and some people may take it their way. Okay, so you have the information. Now what? How are you going to process it? What are you going to do? See, that's where we get stuck. I think as humans, sometimes we get stuck in the story that this guy or that guy or this thing is a bad thing. Okay, so we know it's a bad thing. So what are you going to do about it? How are you going to fix it? Well, the best way to fix it is make sure that you're in alignment with yourself and with the beliefs that you believe in, and not project it upon other people and vomit upon other people, okay, like they vomit upon you, okay? And that's what usually pisses people, and that's why people don't get involved in things, and that's why people don't get connected with things, because both groups vomit on each other, okay? Learn how to be clean. Learn how to be, right with yourself. Because when other people want to do what they want to do and say what they're going to say, they're going to say it. The best thing that happened, and I tell people this all the time, and I know it rouses people, and they makes them think a little bit, but the best thing that happened, that we ended up getting a president who's very vocal, very obnoxious, and very, whatever he is, whatever you want to call him, and I'm glad, because now I know that when I walk down the street, that I don't live in this make-believe world, okay, that everybody likes me. I already knew that, but now I have information. Now, how do I apply that information? Okay, he's racist. Okay, he's not changing, but I can change. I can change how I feel about other people. I can change how I accept that message. I can change and express how I need to express myself. See, most of us don't do that. Most of us are not able to do that. And because we're so angry, we get so frustrated, we think that, that something should fall down and we should burn it to the ground. Sometimes those things just burn themselves to the ground. Sometimes those things just collapse and fall away because it doesn't resonate. It doesn't resonate. So like these aliens, like this march on Area 51, maybe it'll fizzle out. Or maybe it'll happen. But if it happens, so what? Burning Man happens every year. The Ohio State Fair happens every year. Millions of people show up to that thing. It's how you let things affect you in life is where you are and where we are. If we allow things to affect us, fine. They will affect us. Things will affect us. But the question is, you have the choice and you have the right and you have the experiences from this life that you've lived to see the world much differently than how it's being presented to you. The world's presented to us in many facets, in many ways, and I get that. Sometimes it's beautiful, sometimes it's not. You get to decide. You have free will. You have the choice to say, no, I don't want to see the world like that. And I'm going to treat everybody the best way I can, as long as there's healthy limits and boundaries between us. As long as those people are treating me correctly too. Now, if someone's not treating you right, you have choices. You walk away, or you combat, or you yell and you scream. It's really up to you. I mean, there really aren't a whole lot of choices here, folks. You just either do or you don't, or you just become indifferent, or you just stay in the middle, or you walk away. I'm not saying that you shouldn't fight. I'm not saying you shouldn't do this or shouldn't do that, because it's up to you. What I recommend is, don't expect other people to jump on your bandwagon because you're on the bandwagon. Okay, just because you don't agree with something doesn't mean everybody's going to jump on you. Just because one guy does something a certain way doesn't mean that everybody should just rally to your side. La, 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 la. It doesn't happen. This is an Ohio State football game where everybody's OHIO, or Michigan or whatever. But we can't live like that. You just have to be able to expect and do the best that we personally can do individually. Because as individuals, when we show the example to other people how we live our lives, that is a big testament to ourselves, to our families, to our worlds, and the things and the people around us. That's where we learn. That's how we become better human beings. Not yelling and screaming. Sometimes walking and being in silence is more powerful than saying nothing at all. When you have opposing forces coming at each other, at some point, nobody knows the difference. Nobody sees the difference between the two. Okay, so they hate you. Now all of a sudden you hate them. So now who's the hater? Who is hating who? You hate them because they hate you, and now you hate them because they hate you. You see, I don't see the correlation there. But you're right, because you know what? They were already haters before you. So now that you're a hater, you're allowed to hate too. But since you're both really opposing forces meeting each other in the middle. Yeah, sure, you have good points here. I don't know so much about the points here, but you know what? Eventually it all becomes blurred. And then everybody just looks at it going, well, these guys are radicals. These guys are racist. These guys are fanatics. You see, then you can't be distinguished from the crowd. You become labeled. You become pigeonholed. You become controlled. You become manipulated by a certain way of thinking. So just do your best with who you are. And as you do your best with yourself, other people watch, other people see. And then they want to be like that. And they want to do better. Now, there'll be times where you're going to have to stand up and you're going to have to say and speak your voice. I get that. I understand that. But sometimes when we give too much focus on one thing, we get too much of that. Am I right? Am I wrong? I don't know. It's just where and how I apply principles to my life. I see the world. Yeah, I'm from another country. I see things differently. Yeah, I have different background, upbringing. But here's the common thread between you, me, and everybody on the planet. We're all human beings. We all bleed. We all die. We're all born, we die. We all poop and piss. Okay? So there's no difference between any of us. And we all need to eat. And we all need to stay alive while we're living. We all need to fend for ourselves and our families and the people we love. So where's the difference? The difference is in the ideology that our skin, our color, our ideas are all different and we can't get along. Just because we don't like it doesn't mean it's wrong for them. It may not be right for us. Just because they look different doesn't mean that they're bad people. Just because they sing a different song and you sing a different song doesn't mean that you can't get along. But humanity one day will wipe itself out because of these ideas that somebody has to be right, that somebody has to triumph. There's no triumphing when you kill each other and when you destroy one another. There is no triumph there. There is no winning there. So when you want to find the aliens, are you looking for those aliens in Area 51? Here's my point. When people say we are the aliens, we are the difference between ourselves. We are different. If aliens came here, they would have a whole different agenda, a whole different belief system. What would have to happen is we have to adhere to their belief system, or they'd have to adhere to ours, or we'd have to fight over who wins that belief, that battle. Aren't we doing that now as humanity? Aren't we doing that now? Aren't we struggling to prove to one another? One person at a time. That's how we make this a better place. Excuse me. One person at a time. And who's that person? It's you. It's me. We're the ones that make this a better place. Not the guy next to me. Not the guy watching me doing this live stream from my car, wondering what the heck I'm doing. Probably laughing. I don't care. It doesn't matter. Because I believe in what I'm doing. Whatever his thoughts are won't affect me. I'm just watching and observing. But that's not important. What's important is, what am I going to do? What are you going to do to make this a better place for yourself? Through all the struggles and everything that you go through and everything that we all go through individually, how do we siphon and filter through all that? How do we go through all that? These are questions that we have to ask humanity, ask ourselves. If we want to raise this vibration, then we have to raise it individually and understand that other people will not always be on alignment with us and in agreement with us. And when we understand that,